Alright, baby, let's ride! So, one more video for today, just because I felt like it. Just felt like making another video for my motovlog. This time, I'd like to talk about things you need to look out for when you're riding or driving here in the Philippines, not only here in Metro Manila, but in general here in the Philippines. One thing that you need to watch out for are buses and jeeps that suddenly stop wherever they want to unload or to pick up passengers. That happens a lot, I must say. You need to look out for that. You always need to be on the lookout for that. Authorities are constantly trying to fix this problem. For the most part, they succeed. But the moment they turn their attention to other problems, to other things, stupid jeepney drivers and bus drivers go back to their old habits. So to be on the safe side, you need to be on the lookout for jeeps and buses that suddenly stop to unload and pick up passengers. Speaking of jeeps and buses, another thing you need to be on the lookout for is when it comes to intersections, jeeps and buses have a tendency to stop even though the light is green, and they have a tendency to stay there for quite some time to wait for passengers. It's quite irritating, particularly when you find yourself unable to pass these stupid jeeps and buses, and then you see the light turn red. That's happened to me a lot of times in the past. It has cost me a lot of grief. You need to look out for that. You need to be prepared for that at least. Another thing that you need to be aware of and to be on the lookout for are vehicles that turn or merge into the road, into the traffic. They do it fast, and then once they're on the road, they suddenly slow down. I have no idea why this is the case, but that happens a lot here. You need to be aware of that. You need to be on the lookout for those things. So what else do you need to keep in mind? Ah, yes. Swervers. Artists, I call them swervers. Many drivers, many riders, well, particularly drivers, many drivers, they swerve, crossing 2 or 3 lanes just to get to the point that they want to go. I don't want to sound mean, but female drivers women drivers are particularly guilty of this. They don't take the time to maneuver properly, so they get to the point where they need to turn off or turn into another road, but they're not in the proper position. So to be able to make their turn, they have to cross 2 or 3 lanes. That's not only very irritating, that's also quite dangerous. You need to be on the lookout for that. In fact, I encountered that particular case just about here. See that car, that SUV signaling to turn right, crossing 2 lanes in the process. The driver should have slowly switched lanes several meters before the turn so that he doesn't have to swerve. It's only fortunate that there's no enforcer around. That would have been a ticket right there. Unfortunately, we have a sore lack of enforcers and traffic cops, so people tend to get away with that. Might get irritated as heck, but getting angry, subjecting yourself to road rage, it's not gonna help one bit. Just gonna stress you out, just gonna get you in trouble if you choose to argue it out. So you just need to be on the lookout for that and take the necessary precautions and maneuvers. Now here's a pet peeve of mine. You already know one pet peeve of mine. That's checkpoints and having to ride in the rain. Here's another pet peeve of mine. Motorcycle riders that do not wear shoes or pants. If you look at that guy over there, that guy on the scooter, he's wearing slippers and shorts. I'm sure he's wearing a helmet, but come on, shorts and slippers? It's no wonder why people like cops and politicians often see motorcycle riders as undisciplined, uneducated goons or squids for the most part, although I don't like to use that term. Undisciplined boors that do not care for rules and regulations. And it bugs the heck out of me, man. It really does. Now here's another thing that you need to look out for. Here in the Philippines, you've noticed people standing in the road while they wait for a bus. They don't use the sidewalks. Instead, they wait on the road, blocking up one lane, which of course adds to the already terrible traffic. And the sad thing is, there's an enforcer, and the enforcer is not doing anything to discipline these people, not doing anything to make them wait on the sidewalk instead. Again, it's not only inconveniencing drivers and riders by blocking up one lane. It's also quite dangerous. I mean, sure, here we have slow moving traffic, but in case of light traffic where vehicles are moving fast, they still stand on the side on the road to wait for a bus or a taxi or a jeep. That doesn't happen only on major highways like this. It also happens on other roads. This is particularly irritating when there's only 2 lanes, and because they're standing on the road to wait for a jeep or a bus, there's now only 1 lane passable because they're using up or occupying 1 lane. Ooh, I must say this really feels good. Being able to move fast after being caught in such slow moving traffic back there really feels good, man. Really feels good to just break loose like this. Times like this, I'm glad I'm on a big motorcycle like my Z250 SL. It really feels good. Not that I'm moving faster than the other motorcycles, but for some reason when you're on a bigger motorcycle, it feels better when you're accelerating. Now there's another thing that you need to look out for here in the Philippines are street vendors. When the traffic is red, the traffic light is red, vehicles are stopped, these traffic vendors tend to wander around trying to sell their stuff to passengers and drivers alike. Got to make a living, I suppose. But the moment the light turns green and the vehicles start moving, they're gonna be running to the middle lane, the middle island, rather. So that's something you need to look out for. Now that elevated pedestrian crosswalk reminds me of yet another thing that you need to look out for. Jaywalkers. People here have a tendency to cross wherever and whenever they want. Doesn't matter whether it's a pedestrian crossing or not. Doesn't matter whether it's an elevated crosswalk or not. They'll cross the road if wherever they feel like crossing. I'll touch up on that in another video, I suppose, but for now, that's one thing that you need to look out for. Pedestrians crossing wherever they like. Even when there's a crosswalk, an elevated crosswalk, they still cross the road under the crosswalk. Oh hey, look at that. Nice shirt, right?